Alright boys, the following clips using that machine right there. Multi-frequency, the hunt program was multi-frequency 29 kilohertz band, channel 0, notch of 11 through 45 I believe, 44. No notch in the 89 kilohertz band, which was a check program, channel 6 and 88.3 kilohertz mono program. One target was not retrieved. I think I say as much in the video. I got it was beneath a big rock and I didn't want to tear that place up getting it, okay? These here, well, this was in the same hole. I don't know the orientation. These were all no diggers, and I believe this one here was too, but it's got some rust on it there. See that? These were all, I believe, no diggers, but I dug them. These were all, this was a no digger too. Notice it's not a ring-shaped enclosure. Now that fuse was a digger, but it does have a ring on it. You see it there. Full ring, square tabs, and I call this target, I believe, last in the clips, boys. I called that for what it was using that machine. What do you think about that shit? Pull ring with a beaver tail. I show you the behavior and you'll see why I said that, okay? And if you'll get you a beaver tail and experiment with this machine the way I had it set up, you'll sort of see what I saw. Same little park I was in last week, right? Just doing a little horsing around, boys and girls. That is going to conclude the video. The XP Deus 2 HF2 coil. You see that? You see that? You see that? The target had a lot of differential when it come to that ID, boys. You see that? Let me try to show some more here. I didn't show this one. Alright boys, we're using the old Deus 2 version 310, the HF2 coil here. Okay, now this is probably not a good target, but we're going to dig this because some people may want to know what this machine's capable of, okay? Now I don't have any bottle cap reject in this machine. You hear that signal there? That's almost nickel range ID. That's 29 kilohertz channel 0. Here's 89 kilohertz channel 6. You hear that? I'd almost bet that's a bottle cap. We're going to dig this, okay? Just to see. I'm turning. Still in the 89 kilohertz. I went back now to the 29. Hear how it cleaned up? I don't have any bottle cap reject in the machine. You see that? Let's put some in it in 29 kilohertz. It still sounds pretty clean, don't it? Maybe it's not a bottle cap. But I don't believe it's a good target. There's 89 kilohertz again. We're going to dig that to see what that is. Alright, it is not a desirable target. There's a lot of rust on that. See what that is? ID was lower, but it was real scratchy sounding. There may be something under it there. Maybe some iron under that. I don't know. Alright, here's another one. 29 kilohertz, channel 0. You see that meter? 89 kilohertz, channel 6. See what that ID did? We're going to dig that right there. That should be a ring enclosed item there. Alright, you see it there. No square tab. Didn't see as much deviation on that though as I did that pull ring. Alright boys, here's another one in this little park here. Here's 29 kilohertz channel 0. See the meter there? A little pollution here. 89 kilohertz channel 6. Let's dig that right there and see if that's not a ring enclosure. It's got a hole in it with an enclosure. And that's what it was, okay? Alright, boy, you see this playground equipment here. Here's a real smooth signal, okay? 29 kilohertz, channel 0. That's smooth sounding. 72. There's 89 kilohertz, channel 6. We're gonna dig that right there, okay? You see it there. Alright, boys, you see I'm in a park here. This is a no bullshit video. Here's a target here that's probably not a ring. We're gonna dig it. 29 kilohertz, multi-frequency band. See that ID? 89 kilohertz, channel 6. ID, no change to speak of. 88 kilohertz, single frequency. ID went down on it a little bit. I don't see any maskers there, I don't think. 89 kilohertz, 29 kilohertz, channel 0. That should not be a ring. What we call a hooper, you know what I'm talking about? Enclosure. We're digging it, boys and girls. Okay, camera on. Now, I don't know what the orientation was, but that's what's come out of the ground there, okay? You see that. So that was a no digger. And for good reason, huh? So Hick from the Sticks is out here with this detector again, you know, looking at a few things. Alright, boys, we got another one here that's reading sort of high. 29 kilohertz. Sounds pretty clean. You see that meter 83, 89 kilohertz, channel 6. You see that meter 88 model program. It's trended a little down, okay, but not much. You know, that old Hawker Gold ring I does that with an air test. We're going to dig that right there. You see what the culprit was there, okay? Alright, here's another one, 29 kilohertz, channel 0. 65, 89 kilohertz, channel 6, 72, model program. 72, we'll dig that and see what that is. That should be a ring kind of enclosure. And you see the culprit there. Alright, boys, here's one here. 29 kilohertz, multi-frequency, channel 0. See that? 60, 89 kilohertz, channel 6. You see that? 59, 88 kilohertz model program. Trends a little lower. That shouldn't be a ring enclosure there. We're digging that. That's a no digger, but we're going to dig it, okay? Okay, here is the old culprito, huh? About ring shaped size wise. You see what I'm talking about? So if you'd have been using a single frequency machine, you might have had to have dug that. That was in gold ring range, by the way. Alright, we got another one here in the wood chips, boys. 29 kilohertz, channel 0. See that meter there? I believe there's a little pollution with that target, though. 89 kilohertz. 88 single frequency, we'll look at it. We're going to dig that one there. I suspect that's a ring enclosure there. Alright, boys. That last target I couldn't get to. There's a big old rock down there, and I wasn't going to tear this place apart here. We're going to try this one. 29 kilohertz, channel 0. 61, 89 kilohertz. Only a 3-point jump, and in the mono program, that should not be a ring-shaped enclosure there. Alright, boys, you see what it is, a nickel. Alright. Now, I've seen mostly about 3 points of deviation on that. Okay. There's a few sweeps I've seen 4. I've never seen 5. Mostly 3. Alright. Not a ring-shaped target. Alright, boys, here's another target. 29 kilohertz, channel 0. 62, 89 kilohertz, channel 6. A lot of disparity on that target there, ID-wise. Here's mono 88 kilohertz. It's sort of all over the place a little bit. There may be a little pollution in there. Let's go back and look at this again. That's 29 kilohertz, channel 0. You see it there. 89 kilohertz. That ID there is running up pretty high for disparity. We're going to dig that. That should be a ring kind of enclosure there. Alright, boys. Let you see what this is. Sharpshooter shows it all. Look at that. A fuse. How about that shit? But I can tell you right now, it wasn't laying like that because I swept it on the ground like that. I don't know what orientation it was in. Okay, but it's got that ring on it there. See that? And the old fuse. Alright, boys, here's one here, 29 kilohertz. 74, 75, 89 kilohertz, channel 6. ID wants to go up some, okay. Mono program, 88 kilohertz. Now if I come over here and sweep it in 29 kilohertz, you see what I've got there? Okay. I got about the same ID. You know what? I'd almost bet that may be a pull ring with a beaver tail on it. Alright. We're digging that right there, okay? That could be a ring enclosure, but maybe a pull ring with a beaver tail. What y'all think about that shit, huh? About that shit. Does that old pastry ever call a target like that, boys? With that call? Yeah. I'm not out here digging like a mole, though. I'm select digging, okay? I have showed you some no diggers, or at least one. Alright, boys and girls, this may be the last one here. 29 kilohertz, channel 0. You see that meter? 51, 89 kilohertz, channel 6. 52, mono program, 88.3 kilohertz. That's probably can slaw, boys. Okay, that's a no digger, but we're digging it. That's gold ring range on this machine too, boys. In the 29 kilohertz range. I got 2 gold rings that read 50, 51. Alright, boys. I can see it right there. Can you see that in that camera? See that? Well, can slaw action. Again, you know, really not much bigger than a ring, the way it's organized there. Okay, that was a no digger, but a sharpshooter.